Youth4Nature to come up with the idea to speak about natural-based solutions for climate action. And there's tremendous opportunities for young people to be part of this, not only on solution, also to push for this agenda, so that most of the countries take this as a part of their indices to make sure that some of their commitments are met through nature-based solutions. So it has a great potential as such. And glad to see this as part of the UN agenda too at the upcoming UN summit in New York by Secretary General. And will be followed up with the COP25 in Chile in San Diego later in December. So it's a great opportunity to take the whole, the existing ideas, which is in line with the restorations and development of environment. Can I see the presentation?
Sure.
So basically, so the whole idea was to bring out, the whole idea is like that's the globe, which shows there was a picture taken back in 1971 when the Apollo mission went to the moon. They had this great image of our Earth. So this gives an idea of the belonging for humanity as one, and this shows that why is that important to us to take care of our motherland. So it's a great call and a great cause that we as young people should take forward this agenda to support and actively help to make sure our Earth stays as such, how it looks so beautiful. So yeah, this is something I wanted to start with to showcase something that humanity is connected. That's the Earth. So basically, what we want to show is like how nature helps us human beings in every aspects of our life, from food to medicine to weather, food, beauty, home. So it's sort of an amalgam of how we get to see or use the resources of our nature over the years, and this has to be continued in a very sustainable way, just to humanity to survive on this planet. But what humans are doing on behalf is what is heartwarming. So over the years, in return of all these resources as human beings are using over the past many years, what are we giving back is dumping back like 10 million tons of man-made global warming pollutants in the atmosphere every 24 hours. That's an enormous amount of carbon pollutants we are putting into the CO2s to that from the fossil fuel industries, vehicular emissions from our agriculture, from our industries which are working on the poultry, meat industries. So this led to have our hottest years over the past years. So 16 of the 17 hottest years on record have been occurred since 2001. And it's continually measuring until 2017, which didn't stop. It continued in 2018. 2019 also has now been known that last June was one of the hottest June temperature recorded ever since the measurement was started. So where we are heading towards a very, very warm Earth, that shows the catastrophe we are heading to. So as you can see, also the global temperature variance over the past cold and warmer regions have been recorded towards the region. It's both land and ocean temperature. You can see the anomalies have been completely showcasing that our record warm regions have been categorically increasing. If you've seen even Southeast Asia towards India and the Middle East, as well as some of the Australian parts have been really experiencing the extreme ocean and land temperature, which is categorically going to be on a higher node. It's going to categorically increase over the given point of time as the current scenario indicates. The past European heat waves, which we heard on the news, are also indicating that the Asian one also would be really, really drastic, and even the number of health death cases can also be high. So this also shows the temperature not only on land. The next graph indicates on the ocean temperature increases, which can bring more floodings or flash floodings in Asia, Southeast Asia, and when mentioning towards Southeast Asia, not categorically on this part of the world. Even Europe would be definitely experiencing flash floods in coming part of the year. And the MENA region also, which is very highly prone to be tropical hot climate, they also will be experiencing a lot of flash flooding of rains in the upcoming times because of the vast ocean and sea heating up happening. So these are just showcasing the ocean temperature increasing can drastically increase hurricanes and cyclones across the globe. And why it is because of the ocean heating up and drastically bringing up more precipitation. So precipitation can lead to more flash floodings, as you see on the slides in the upcoming slides, which directly indicates what is extra heating means and what is that directly indicating towards. So on a bigger picture, it will bring more downpours and floods, especially even in countries which are not prone to periodic rainfall. So some of the examples of recent Myanmar flooding in Kuwait and the Middle East are examples of what extreme heating of the oceans and seas would bring categorically such devastating flash flooding, even in non-rainfall prone countries. And what does that do to the more sunny areas? It brings more heat waves, which would dramatically increase people's stress in work. And countries like where vegetation is very key, like in Brazil, Somalia, which will dry the lands, which will make the aerated lands not feasible for cultivation. And the California fires, which is known for forest fire over the years, has been categorically increasing again. It shows the depth of heat waves are directly indicating the global warming scenarios have been true. So not only to the environmental issues, it also is a climate emergency issues where people will be experiencing medical emergency. Even the Lancet 2016, 17, and 18 report on health and climate change really indicated the same issues. So the report was first published in 2015 and categorically showcased how much impact it's had on human health. Well, it doesn't even leave our species, which are also on the risk of 50% land-based species are going to be extinct or are in verge of extinction at the moment or towards the century. So this can be changed. So what we are trying to say to young people is like, so how must we change? So the change is like simple. We can change. We have solution in our hands. That nature-based solution is a great way forward. So the solution, why we meant in hands, is like nature-based solutions are already there. We have a lot of social societal challenges like from climate change, disaster risk, human health, food security, water security, economic and social development issues. So what exactly is nature-based solutions talking about is exactly something like action to protect, to sustainably manage and restore the nature or modified ecosystem that can address the societal challenges effectively and adaptingly. What does that directly bring into it? To provide human well-being. So primarily, there are a couple of the principles nature-based solutions can provide as inscribed by IUCN and United Nations Environment Program, that primarily nature-based solutions embrace natural conservation. So that's the basic idea. And also it can be implemented alone or can be done in integrated way that we can address the societal challenges. Also determined by site-specific natural solutions as well as long-term solution to our issues, both on biologically and the cultural diversity, in a way to address the liabilities of ecosystem to evolve over the time. So we give more time for restoration activities so that it organically develops without interfering or man-made things. Nature-based solution can be applied at landscape. Can you just go back, please? Landscape issues as well. So how we do is that restoration activities in a landscape where we really want to restore an area can be considered at one place, and over the course of time, how we can restore that land. Also, it's recognize and address the trade-off between the production of few immediate economic benefits for development and future options for production of range of ecosystem services. So basically, what does the natural solutions provide is an avenue where we not only have economic benefits from what we're doing, but also provide a long-term options that we sustainably produce those things, so economically viable and also welfare of the people. So MBS or nature-based solutions are an integral part of overall system where which we categorically provide solutions to institutions which really looking forward to mitigate climate change issues. So if we take categorically what climate change solutions are, like at the moment we have greenhouse gas emissions coming from a lot of industries. So what we can do is to make sure that we take actions against climate change, but we have solutions like Paris Agreement is one of the key solutions which we have in abiding with Paris Agreement. So what we want to see is more or less we need to have more nature-based solution added to Paris Agreement so that we work on reducing our emissions, but nevertheless, definitely not stopping our economic prosperity and people's well-being. So once as we know, the world is warming further, what we need to do is mitigating and adapting to climate change. So it cannot be done in as one quick solutions that can be done. What we need is to work on each sector and sectorial way of implementing those solutions, or the categorically ideas we can also in a way to protect the most vulnerable against the climate change impacts. So there are a lot of challenges under the climate change issues, but the solutions are very vast. But some of them are directly scientifically proven technological advantages, but the untapped one is nature-based solution. So the next slide describes how these sort of solutions are integrated. It's an overarching goal of nature-based solution is that we have restoration issues that are specifically based on the ecosystem we live in, infrastructure, management, and protection. So this area is like when you consider nature as like it's an ecosystem-based approaches where we have all these activities at one place, but acting on each challenges of the society would be benefit either directly to our biodiversity, also maybe directly well-being of humanity. So categorically speaking, nature-based solution take care of restoration of land which may have any issues, or if you have some issue specific things like you have a very bad or the farm which has been not categorically agricultured, or we need to categorically work on how we can bring that sort of solutions which can help have more sort of agriculture in the next season. So basically we are talking about issue specific initiatives. Then if you go to infrastructure, basically you are again talking about some ideas where you can provide sort of infrastructure which is in line with our commitments to not destroy our environmental ecosystem. So on a long run, what we are trying to do through nature-based solution is to be part of our global environment policy. At the moment, there was the discussion happening, how we can put nature-based solution as one of the key way of fighting climate change impacts. So nature-based solutions can be a great source to be, and it's a very untapped resource as well, how we can go back to the nature and how we can work forward in a way, making sure that our natural ecosystems are restored. At the same time, human welfare or human well-beings are also kept in line. So can we make this change, and will we change? These are the questions we really have to ask ourselves. But the exciting answer should be that nature-based solution is a great way forward, but how young people can work forward. We have Paris Agreement. We try to implement Paris Agreement in line with the nature-based solution as one of the categorically high-profile way of mitigating climate issues. So as the young people who are supposed to safeguard our future and whose future are at stake now and also in the coming generation, is to bring up this sort of topics on the forefront, talk to your government, talk to the people at the higher level of hierarchy at the institutions who are working on that. So there's a lot of things how youth can make a move on climate change, bringing nature-based solution as one of the key way forward. Going back to the root cause of how young people can really make changes is like making those advocacy calls. For example, try to use more renewable based energy system or use batteries which are run on renewables. Sounding that young people are calling for sort of renewable based ideas. So renewable-based instruments are freely available in the market, and you can showcase your commitments on a personal level, which also can help on the long run for young people to showcase how they want to make those changes on a personal level. So, as you know, we have this great march taken up by Creta and others, asking not only to the government to make changes, and individuals to make their changes at a local and their city level and regional level. So the basic thing would be getting up with renewables. It's a great way forward, and how we can make a basic choice, or the best choice for our environment is going renewable. And next is our daily commute, how we can use our daily commute by public transport, riding a bike, and in a car sharing, and trying to work on using hybrid cars if you really don't have an options. So also flying less, to also, if you're flying often, to offset your travel emissions also. So this is something young people can do. And furthermore, use your energy wisely. You know, some of the countries really have a lot of energy, excess energy, but what you try to do is not to waste this energy. Use it in a very appropriate, sustainable way when you're taking care of your charging things, using your power bills at homes. So everything categorically comes back to us as a young people to showcase or implement this at your home level, your hostel, your workplace, in a way to showcase how we can conserve our energies. Then also eat for climate stable planet. It's like how to have eat less free meat meals, going organic, stop using or wasting food, and grow your own food. So these are the categorically ideas or ways how we can move forward. So next would be consuming less and waste less and enjoy more life. It's like you have a lot of avenues to consume a lot of food products, but what the idea is not the amount of food or thing you eat, is more or amount of we waste or overeat. So these are the things categorically young people can make a difference at a larger scale. So we need to push such sort of agendas at our events, our programs. So even at our initiatives, we need to try to showcase or be an example what we want to try to do. And the biggest one would be fighting against fossil fuel industries. Is like how we can showcase that fossil fuel industries are not in buying what we want to see in our future. So fossil fuel industries is like how we can divest, how young people can call for divestment from large corporations which are basically working on fossil fuel industries. Further down would be like, can I have next, please? Invest in renewables. So solar power is getting, and renewable energy powers are getting a lot of traction these days. So making your government to put or invest on that for private companies, also companies which you are hold on with your family businesses, etc., can be liable. So it's a great call if you push for renewables at your local or municipal level issues. And then help put up a price on pollution. There are a lot of discussion on price and carbon has been working. One of the tractions for upcoming UN summit is also to have a price on pollution or carbon. Is getting a lot of attention, especially in the countries like the United States, and Canada has been actively working on these issues. A lot of nonprofit institutions also working on this. So what we can do as a young people is push for such agendas on a large scale movements to bring up discussions on putting a price on carbon. And going back to the very basic idea of a vote to the people who support renewables and support for candidates who really look forward to bring climate change agendas to their mainstream agenda for the elections. This will be something every young people should strive or march to forward. And then talking about the issues. This is the critical thing. This is the critical part young people should tell about. That's the importance of storytelling as such. So as what the Climate Forum stories are trying to do is the same thing. Talk to others, tell your stories. What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to, as a young people, doing? This can resonate on a larger cause. For example, if you take why we are pushing for nature-based solution is another idea that young people can tell why this can be a positive way. It's a win-win situation for both nature and human beings to have a nature-based solutions. So this can be a great way for young people to talk about this thing. This would definitely bring a lot of traction. So having more young people on your back is a great call for action. So you really need to talk about and tell your stories to others and ask them to listen. And the young people has this stigma that it doesn't make a difference if I talk to another one. But this takes a chain of conversations forward to institutions they come from, universities they come from. So it has a long way and long outreach effects. So what as young people we can do is to join those people who are really talking or using their voices, and how young people are making their choices to take things forward. So it's all about our voice, our choice, and our votes, which matters. So end of the day, what we as young people are trying to bring is support those people who are using their voice, choice, and votes for making sure we survive on this smaller earth. This is a crisis we are facing as a humanity, and everybody should be using their voice and choice and votes to make sure that you do use your voices to talk about these issues, and choices that you make on a personal level also make a big difference. So you talk about your choices, and also you can join those people who are making sure they vote the right candidate who will voice for the support of our generation and also the upcoming generation, to make sure we enjoy and have a planet which is livable for all of us in the current generation and also for the upcoming generation. Because we don't have other choice, because this is our only planet. Like I've shown an image of the beautiful image of Mother Earth from the Apollo missions, which is that one thing which connects the humanity together, is that one planet, and we just don't have a choice. So it's how you commit for change. And I call our young people to be part of this conversation, and not only be part of solution, but there's a lot to be done on bringing up your voices and that message to larger audiences in our fight against climate crisis. So there are a lot of avenues, like what Youth for Climate is doing, and Youth Climate Guides are working on that. The institutions we are part of are also working in our part of the world. So there are a lot of avenues where you can sign up to your activities that you want to do as a choice, which is also having a great impact, and also that have a resonating impact when you bring more and more people to sign up such causes. So here is like Voice for a Planet is an initiative by Global Shapers and World Economic Forum with WWEF, asking people of all age, gender, country, beyond the classes of economic prosperity to sign up your voice, to speak up and call for change. This voice will be used and submitted to our governments in 2020 International Biodiversity Summit. So this will be a great cause. You can sign up on a personal way. What are you going to commit? This is a very simple website where you commit on a personal behalf. That what are your things you're going to do at your personal level you can do, and what you can do at your community level and for global cause. So I request who are participating to sign up for voiceforourplanet.com, where you can support what you want to do at a very personal level. So we at Arab Youth Climate Movement are working in line with the same principle, and trying to make a big call for climate action from the MENA region, to make sure that we are with other colleagues and our friends in other part of the world who are making their voices sound, heard at every avenues they are being. And this is the greatest opportunity for young people they do have at the moment, is their voices, to showcase that they are not just voices, but also they have alternative solutions they want to pitch to our governments and our business heads and all other stakeholders who are part of these issues. So we at Arab Youth Climate Movement is one of the organization. We're based in Qatar. We have regional hubs too. So we are more than welcome to work in partnership, or any ideas which would definitely co-benefit both the parties, to make sure that young people are working and voicing and advocating for climate action in every part of the world. Thank you, Zuhaib, and thank you, Climate Guides, for having this opportunity. I know it's a very brief thing. If we do have any questions, please feel free to pop it up. I would definitely love to hear if you have any questions. Or please, you can write to me. You have my email at the end of the presentation. So if you have any doubt or if you have any moment of collaboration, please do reach out to us anytime.